Turns out that audio work and mixing also has its strengths and comebacks. Back then, CDs allowed for quite hot signals with a lot of room for loudness. When streaming platforms gained popularity, everyone got so obsessed about fitting standards and true peak values. Nowadays, it feels like a full circle, since there are more and more discussions about clipping, limiting, going above 0 dB, and close to no limitations of digital signals and digital workstations. That's exactly what I want to talk with you today. Clipping, limiting, their similarities and differences. The main similarity is that they both help you to get close to 0 dB line, which, to make things a little bit simpler, can be called boosting. And that's basically where the similarities end. Limiter does it by pushing the signal peaks back, just like compressor does. In fact, compressors and limiters have more similarities than clippers and limiters. Just use a really high ratio, fast attack and release, and you got yourself a limiter. Not as transparent and detailed as the one I used here, but we will talk about it later. On the other hand, clipping holds up to its name. Once a single piece of your sound reaches its threshold, it gets instantly trimmed. In exchange, you get harmonics. Okay, I lied to you a little. There is one more similarity. An option to shape the sound in both of those. While limiters' options are way more detailed, clippers usually have just one: soft or hard clipping. Hard clipping allows for more transparency, while soft clipping brings out more harmonics. Although this doesn't apply to heavily driven signals. The result will always sound squashed. So, where and why to use clipper or limiter? Well, I'm far from giving you the exact prescriptions, but there are some good rules to follow. It's great to use clippers on transient heavy and dynamic materials like drums. Due to their nature of instant attack, even a little bit of clipping can give you a feeling of a punchy sound. Even if I drive it, the sound stays relatively the same as the volume is compensated. Now, once I turn the compensation off, we get that sweet and punchy sound. Soft clipping starts to bring more harmonics. At this level they are subtle, but listen what happens once I turn the input more. Let's compare it to the limiter with the same amount of input gain. Yes, the result is way more controlled, but even with slower attack, I couldn't get the same amount of punch than with clipper. But limiter deals better with tonal elements. I can easily boost this lead really high, while still maintaining the original tone. Now let's switch to clipper with the same amount of gain. I mean, it kind of fits to the aggressive sound like this one, but you can hear how it starts to crackle and change the tone. That's also where limiters, attack and release controls comes in clutch, since I can dial in the exact amount of punch I want to have. We already have a video why both are a great setup on a master. But speaking of setting up things, considering the standards I mentioned, let's go for a crazy loud one and click Analyze. It gives me all the suggestions to be competitive, yet stay as transparent as I can. Whenever I decide to have more control with faster attack, it automatically adjusts to the suggested range to stay in the spot I chose as target. Our limiter has way more cool features, and if the video isn't enough for you, then go to the description right below the like and subscribe button to get a free trial on our website.